wish that it could be a merry little Christmas for one and all. And when I hear choirs on the street, so full of Christmas cheer, I pray this is the start of all our dreams. So if Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring joy and peace on earth? If Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring love enough for the world? Bells, they will be ringing, every heart just singing. So if Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring joy and peace on earth? If Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring love enough for the world? Then bells, they will be ringing, and every heart just singing. to fall. I wish that it could be a merry little Christmas for one and all. And when I hear choirs on the street, so full of Christmas cheer, I pray this is the start of all our dreams. So if Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring joy and peace on earth? If Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring love enough for the world? Bells, they will be ringing, every heart just singing.
Welcome to Christmas Eve at the Life Journey Productions Studios. What a crazy day. So we're going to be on for an hour. I have lots of stuff to share with you guys. I've had technical difficulties, but you know, if you spend enough time messing with stuff, you figure ways around those difficulties. So we're going to use some of those tricks tonight. I got to do a interview with my wife today. She's not going to be live because in reality, we have a whole house full of guests right now. I'm going to take a moment here to clean my reading glasses so you can see me without them. I want to thank you guys for joining me live. If you're watching this after it was live, thank you for watching. Lots of stuff tonight. We're going to look at a time lapse of a Lego build I did. And if you watched the intro video, you got a chance to see that device. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I got to go over and finish an install yesterday. Most of the install, the most important last parts, and also did an interview with one of my clients, Uma. And so we're going to play that video. Actually going to play it from my laptop because it would not render tonight to put it in the HyperDeck. So going to play it right on the timeline display in my laptop. Hopefully it will all play great. But first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. And thank you so much. Christmas in our family is a big deal. I like to involve my extended family on YouTube as well. That's why I decided this year that I would go live. I've always done some kind of Christmas show. Tonight's a little bit Christmas, a little bit not Christmas, but in reality, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a special guest at the end of tonight's video in the studio with me. Some of you may know him. Some of you may not know him if you're watching this or just checked out my channel. Years and years and years ago, when I was a wee lass, I was fascinated with ventriloquism. So I am a rusty old ventriloquist. So Ratso is going to join us tonight. And evidently he has some questions to ask me. So maybe that's why it's been a little bit difficult in the studio today, because if anybody I know will go off script, it's Ratso. And so I have his questions up on my prompter. Hopefully he'll stick with the script. And if not, I'll do my best to control things as we wrap up tonight. Again, I wanted to just say that it's Christmas at my house. We do Christmas on Christmas Eve as well as Christmas Day. We have family that has family, so they'll come in on Christmas Eve. And so we just did a gift exchange at about 2:30 today, and came back in the studio to try to render a video I've been working on since yesterday. So we're going to talk about that. Shannon is going to not be in the studio live with me, but she did come in live earlier today, and we videotaped an interview, and that's ready to roll tonight on the HyperDeck. And then I will be playing a video with one of my clients, Uma, and we went over and finished in her studio, and we're going to play that tonight. And then we're also going to look at a time lapse of myself, my grandson, and my wife all building a Lego because I do a yearly Lego build with my family. So sometimes I finish it before Christmas. Sometimes I'll finish it after Christmas. Obviously, if it's a Christmas gift, that's going to be after Christmas. So let me know if the audio is 5x5 and the video is doing great. I will hit record now because I may want to use this in posterity. So we are streaming and we are recording now. I've had my ATEM, my main ATEM, not save the files, so I have to put the key in every week. There's some memory on board. You're supposed to go into the file and click save startup state, and everything should be saved. But every time I reboot my ATEM nowadays, nothing's saved in there. So a few more steps to go live every week. It would be nice just to have YouTube selected, but I lose YouTube. It defaults back to my streaming bridge, which has been a long time since I used my streaming bridge. I am going to try to save an Excel file tonight, later tonight, to see if that will then reboot with that XML file. But again, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to spend a few minutes saying hi to everybody in the chat, but I'm giving you guys a chance to get on here with me before we do that. So let me put chat on the air. And Merry Christmas, Grish. He was here as usual, super early. So I wanted to wish him a Merry Christmas. Doug, Forrest, Merry Christmas to Keith and his fine chat participants. So Merry Christmas from Doug, from Forrest Online, and TVJ says Merry Christmas. I won't be able to make it live, but we'll watch the stream later. Just so thankful that Jay popped in. Again, Doug has a channel. TVJ has a channel. They've been hanging out with me for a long time. Then we have Akil here from Germany. Merry Christmas. Everybody has kind of different customs, but Christmas is celebrated around the world. There are other ways of celebrating this time of year, and I'm very respectful for that. Definitely not judging anybody, but for our family, I'm just sharing tonight's Christmas Eve with you guys, and I have no problem with that because, again, this is kind of my extended family, and so it's really good to have you guys with me tonight. Joe is in the house. Merry Christmas, Joe. As I was hanging out with Ratso today, he brought you up, and so have your seatbelts ready because you never know, Joe. Ratso may just start interviewing you live tonight while he's interviewing me, and that'll be at the end of tonight's live stream. So if you'd like to see Ratso, he makes an annual appearance as close to Christmas as possible. So this will be a second appearance this month in December, and I'm very excited to have him as well. Halen is in the house. That's my granddaughter, so shout out to her. Hank is in the house. Hank checking in from beautiful Coconut Grove in the sunny Miami, Florida, with my children and grandchildren, and wishing everyone a happy and Merry Christmas. He ran out of letters, but good to have you tonight, Hank. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I will get to see Halen, but make sure I say Merry Christmas to everybody. There is David from Down Under. I'm saying Merry Christmas, beautiful, warm Christmas morning here. Yeah, so it's a different time zone there. So it is Christmas Eve. I'm sharing Christmas Eve from Washington while you're sharing your Christmas morning with me tonight, or tonight, David, which was yesterday for you. That is so weird when you think about it, but it is a big world. And just to be in reality, because we have this way of communicating now with social media and these platforms and live streaming and Zoom and Microsoft Teams and all of those tools and the many other ways of streaming outside of Blackmagic Design, we can connect with people around the world, and we're connecting with people in different time zones and different days in those time zones, and that is absolutely crazy. Again, there's Grish's warm Christmas wishes. Long time in Eastern Washington, no snow. Yeah, no snow here either. Doug says he's always glad to see Ratso. Yeah, Ratso's kind of festive tonight. He's been running around the house with a Santa hat on. So super excited about Christmas. Again, I'm hoping he's going to ask me some questions about Christmas. Usually I'm interviewing him And now tonight he gets to spend a few minutes at the end of tonight's show interviewing me. And that should be right around 5 till. And we're going to wrap up. And I know he's promised this a lot, but it's Christmas and I got a house full of people. So we're going to wrap up as close to 5 o'clock tonight as I can. But I have a number of things that I'm going to share with you tonight. Merry Christmas from Hank. Clear and good, the audio is. Thank you very much. 5x5, Hank says as well. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. It's a Christmas Eve, Christmas Day in some places. So, thank you for sharing an hour with me. I also said bring your festive drinks. So, I've got my hot chocolate here. Usually I do sugar-free, but I didn't have time to find it. And so this is the sweet stuff. So if I'm a little ramped up, I don't do a lot of sugar these days. And I drank so good. I drank over half of it during the intro reel. So hopefully you'll grab a festive drink. Go ahead and put your festive drink in the chat. I did a poll tonight before we go into tonight's main event, which is the interview with Uma, which is, again, videotape, but I'm going to play it, and you guys can listen to it. It'll be a part of tonight's live stream. This is all the interview, at least what I'm going to put on my channel. You guys get to see it first. It's going to be embedded in tonight's live stream. It's also going to be a separate video on uploading. But I was having just issues with my little SD card, which is inside my HyperDeck right now. And so I ran out of time to offload some files. I was getting the video with no audio, and then I got the video with really bad audio, broken up audio. So I decided I would just roll it from my laptop using Adobe Premiere. And everything else is good to go on there. My interview with Shannon, my time lapse on our Lego build. But we're going to start with this interview with Uma. Now, many of you guys know I do. Let me cue that here real quick. Many of you know that I do consulting on the side. Most of it's in the studio, but my intention was never to just do it inside the studio. I mean, I'll get clients. I have a client right now I'm working with in Las Vegas. I will be going down there to work in the studio sometime early 2022. That's going to be a lot of fun. But recently, about 3 months ago, I discovered through a marketplace ad, a gentleman that had some trusses that I needed for some outdoor events that I was doing. Many of you guys know I've been putting together a portable sound kit. And then also I've been helping with some lights. So I donated these 3 trusses to this organization, but I went to pick them up, pay for them, and I met a gentleman who's actually a distributor for Blackmagic Design here in our area, which was interesting. And he showed me his console, one of the newer consoles, got all the buttons. It also does recording and does streaming. So pretty cool. It's got Maddie built in, which is really cool. So, but when I was there, he told me about this client that he felt over his head with. He kind of knew the live event stuff, but he wasn't really into home studios. And so he said, would you like to consider helping her? And I said, absolutely. Go ahead and give her my phone number, contact her first, and let her know that I'll be contacted with her. And as I did my research, it turns out she's a neighbor of mine, literally around the block. It takes me about 2.5 minutes to drive from my garage to her house. And she is a consultant / trainer and leadership role model, very active on LinkedIn and other places. She has way more clients than I have because I'm semi-retired and not looking to be busy every day. I try to work 2 or 3 days a week and then maybe an extra day when I'm editing and producing videos for my channel. Lately, I've been working 4 to 5 days a week because I've been trying to catch up on my Extreme ISO Getting Started series, and I'm almost done editing. I hoped I could release it this weekend, but it's going to be by the first of the year. But that's mostly done, all been recorded, and I'm just going through and making all of the little edits and changes that I need to make. So this was a great privilege of mine to be able to spend some time with Uma. So I did a poll tonight, basically yes or no. Would you like to see more guests and studio stories on my live stream. And right now, 10 people have voted and 10 have said yes. So I had Eric Levy, on my channel a while back as a Zoom guest. And we talked about his studio. I helped him remotely. I've helped a number of people remotely with their studios. He sent me some video footage, and then he appeared on my channel. But because this was a local install, probably the second real big one I did a local church because I have connections with the church world throughout the years. They reached out to me and asked me if I would help them install a camera and help them with their live stream. And so anyway, I did that here locally. And now this year I got a chance to work with Uma, and I'm working with a couple other clients in the local area. Some of it's just mentoring on podcasts. They're doing all the work in their studio, and I'm mentoring them on how to use some of the tools. But this was like a take over a room that she was working and doing her training through Zoom, and finding times, because she's busy in there every day, for me to come in and do an assessment and an install. And the way it happened, and actually Uma was on with us at our last town hall meeting, Zoom meeting, and she shared a little of this. So if you were there that night, I do those Zoom town halls quarterly. She shared just a little bit about our relationship and what was happening. So she was just in a room of her house. She'll talk about that. All the walls were white. That's the way the interior of the house was painted. Big, beautiful house built in the same time period that my house was built. And so they moved in recently. I believe she says in the video, I know she worked in a couple different major corporations, and she'll share a little bit about that. And now she's working from home, and she is mentoring people around the world. And she wants to now start doing videos online. She's also wanting to up her game. So she just really needed help in her studio. And she had a mentor, a video series mentor, that you could just sign up for the videos. You get a little support. They tell you everything to buy. But a lot of those tools were just not working for her. A lot of them stayed in a box. And so when I got there was boxes and boxes of brand new equipment. A few things were out, but most of the things that she had purchased, she was just kind of stuck at 80% through the video series because it just became aware. She became aware that she needed someone. And so I got the privilege of working with Uma, and I want to share with you guys this this video. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to play it from my laptop because I could not render it from my HyperDeck. And this is a few minutes long, so just sit back and relax and enjoy this conversation with Uma. And her business is Limitless Leaders, and we're going to talk in her studio. And then you guys will get a chance to see some B-roll of her studio, and then there's some clips at the very end, and then we'll be back in the studio together. So sit back and enjoy this, and we'll greet people that join us after we get done with this video. So here we go. So I'm here with Uma. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's kind of interesting how we met, right? Because I went to pick up some trusses. You had talked to the guy I was getting trusses from on Facebook Marketplace. He goes, hey, what do you do? And we started talking. Then he starts telling me about this client he had. And I said, well, that's easy. Don't you understand video production? And he says, yeah, I understand like big time switching. And he showed me a switcher. He says, but she's trying to do recording in her studio. So first of all, thank you for letting me come out of nowhere. We're in your studio now. And so where is this in your house? Is this just like a...
Yeah, this is my home office.
Okay.
And this is where I do everything. And, you know, I have to say, Keith, like it's been a blessing to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Part of this whole project and help me bring my vision to life.
Well, so when I get to do it hands-on like this, not that I don't mind doing Zoom consults because you do the same thing. But, you know, when you're interacting with someone, I get to pet your dog, your husband brings me really good coffee. You know, it's a lot more exciting to me because you feel more engaged. So that's why I wanted to show my live audience and the people that watch this video what you're doing. So you were just in here doing consulting, right?
Coaching, yes. Yeah, coaching and training on Zoom. And the phase in which my business is in right now, I know that the next phase for me is all about video recording,
Right.
podcasting,
Yeah.
and all of it. So this is the best investment I could have made, and I'm really glad I did.
It's been a journey because you didn't really know what it was going to look like. And I'm
Yes.
trying to lead and guide you. And you'd already had like an online training video you did, which I watched. I think within like a night and a half, I watched almost every one of your training videos because number one, I was learning what they were teaching you and also trying to figure out, okay, what is she trying to accomplish? And when I got here, you had a bunch of different gears. So what was the motivation, first of all, of just having the studio in general? You already talked about that a bit, but I haven't officially asked you that question yet.
So yeah, I think it is. I'm just realizing that now in this phase of my company, it's all about videos and
Yeah.
creating engaging reels and creating courses. So I had, just arrived at that point where I decided I want to set up a dedicated home studio, so I can just go in and start recording videos, which is what we have done now. So
Yeah. It's
super
interesting
excited.
that I think people think like a home studio is like something like really high tech, but in reality, most people take over a room in their house.
Mhm.
Sometimes they have like a den off the entrance. Mine was converted into a bedroom next to me, so I'm in a bedroom in my house. You're in like the den, right, of your house, which is traditionally more an office. But in reality, it was just a white box, right?
Totally.
So tell me, I know this is off the list of our questions, but tell me a little bit about the inspiration. Like we have colors behind us. This was just a white wall when we started. So what was your inspiration with what's behind me right now?
So I've always loved pink. Pink is my color.
I
And
get it.
this is my brand color as well. This is one of our brand colors, the
Okay.
one you see
Yeah.
at the back. So, when I decided to go with doing something, when we started brainstorming, Keith, obviously that was the top choice, was to go with the brand color. And what you see here is an infinity bookshelf, which again, I had this vague idea. At 17 or 18, I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
my journey started with, self-help and all these books and courses, and just learning has been my thing. So when I thought of having something in the background that shows my character, what, the true me, a bookshelf is what came to mind. But
Yeah.
I didn't want the boring bookshelf that everyone
Yeah,
has.
exactly.
Really wanted to do something that
Yeah, the first
is
picture you
unique.
sent me was just this abstract bookshelf. And then when you told me what you found, that we could shape it however we wanted to, and you wanted this infinity, right? S, which
Yeah.
is really representative
Yeah.
that there's just there's no limits,
Exactly.
which
So
I'm a firm believer.
yeah. So my company is Limitless Leaders.
Yeah.
So it's all about being limitless, realizing our limitless potential. So the infinity bookshelf. Yeah, I'm just glad we found it and we're
Yeah.
able to put it all together. And it's
Well, I
really
tell
easy.
people that I get in contact through online and we get into conversations, I tell them what's behind you should represent something about you. So some guys will put up, I've seen guys put Legos up there because they're really into Star Wars and all that stuff. Other guy, I have a friend of mine now who has drums behind him because he told me he was a drummer. And I said, well, why don't you have your drum set behind you? So just really trying to put a little bit of you in the picture. And so you spend your time right here with this background, and then all of your videos that you do in the background with the same background, but obviously it can go wider or narrow. And we're sitting in your studio. So what part of the journey did I help you with?
I mean, pretty much like where, as you said, it was a white box with a lot of lights. That's
Right?
how
A lot
it
of light
was.
coming in.
A lot of light coming in.
By the way, you have one of the biggest windows in a room that I've seen. Like I have a window that's 1/3 that size. When I walked in the very first time, I thought, wow. So we changed the lighting. What did we do?
Yeah, change the lighting, all the tech. And in fact, some of the tech I had already joined some other
Right.
course, and I had ordered a set of gears that were recommended by that expert. And then we had to come in and really figure out, like you helped me figure out, Keith, what were the simplest, set
Yeah.
of gears and system we could put here. So
And I
it's
don't-
easy for me to jump in.
And I don't ever
record.
feel it's simple when I start working with a client and they look at me and go, how do I run this? So just to review a little bit, we have a Canon RP. I have EOS Rs in my studio. You have EOS RP. basically a few less features, way less money, and it's a really good camera. And then we had a 35 and 50 millimeter lens that you had purchased, so we had to try to figure out which one's working. And so how big a shot did we want? So we went with wide. So we're at 35 millimeters with the lens right now. We have a Rodecaster Duo, which is, been out for about a year and a half now, but it's a 2-channel audio. You have a shotgun microphone, which we're not using right now. We're using my Rode, not my Rode, we're actually using my DJI mic kit. And then a number of other things from Camlink. And then you have a little stream deck that we're going to use. You're using OBS to do all your recordings.
Yeah.
But I think one of the coolest thing we decided to add was your prompter. So how much do you like your...
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And especially the prompter that you recommended.
Yeah, so Elgato.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was I'd never really tested it extensively, the audio part where it follows your audio. And how well has that worked for you?
It's working amazing. I still have to use it a lot. I'm hoping 2025 is a year full of videos and reels and courses for me. But I've used it a few times already and love it. Just truly love it.
So cool, right? Is we're neighbors.
Yeah.
And so the interesting thing for me, and my heart, is that you guys have brought me coffee, which is like, so what do you call it again? The coffee that you served me?
It's coffee.
Okay,
So,
coffee,
it's
but it's
Indian coffee.
It's Indian coffee.
Yes.
And I
Coffee.
love the culture. So I've already had a chance to try a few things, and you always bring me snacks. I had snacks today. So the other thing I wanted to ask is, so they understand a little bit about your journey. You actually worked for Microsoft at one point. So just give me a real quick synopsis of how you got from, when you said you're younger and you read that book, just to where you are today. So what was the journey and why leadership? I mean, why the Limitless Leaders?
Sure. I read that book as a teenager and definitely changed my life. Went on to this path of, just learning and becoming the best version of myself every single day. I joined Microsoft in 2001 directly from India and moved to Seattle.
Wow.
Yes. And
so now you knew the language already, right?
Yes,
Then you knew
yes,
English?
Yes.
What is that about your country? They come over here. I don't know any other language. You guys come over here fluent in sometimes 4 or 5. When I say you guys, your culture.
I know, yes.
Yeah, and I can't even do a bad version of your homeland language. So I apologize. So what is your family's language?
So it is called Tamil.
Okay. So is it a dialect of a bigger language?
No.
It's
all different languages, and there are many dialects within the language.
So if you change like areas in the country, it's like here people have different accents, different slang.
Totally different languages, and then many dialects. But I grew up in Delhi, so Hindi is the national language, and that's spoken by many people across India. English and Hindi, if you can pretty much get by.
Yeah. Incredible culture. The other thing I wanted to say is, what part of this journey challenged you, and what part of this journey has made you realize how much technology is important now as you work on your studio and you learn how to do this stuff?
Yeah, so I've always been at Microsoft, and software, that hasn't been a problem for me. I can learn software pretty quickly, but hardware, the tech, that's where the challenge is. I'm totally not a hardware geek. So that part really was stressful. I actually had ordered, as you know, the gear from the previous program, and they were sitting for months because I was trying to.
Yeah, you had stuff out, like you had glide gear. And
Mhm.
so, but it wasn't going to do really what you wanted to do. You had to buy the app.
Yeah.
So when we started talking, and I told you about Elgato Prompter came out about a little over a year and a half ago, and they're updating it. We talked about it at great length because it was going to be another purchase, and so I really think it's working well. You're going to actually now be able to use it with both OBS and the other software that you now signed up for.
Yeah.
So as you have been on this journey, using things like OBS, has it been easier? Are you starting to feel like it's something that you can wrap your head around, or is it still like this big challenge or
No,
intimidation?
definitely. I think we have simplified it. Like I know there could, there's probably 1,000 other features that I'm not familiar with, but I think I've learned, or I feel confident enough to go record that video or, go on a podcast and do the things that I need to do. And I know if I have more questions, you're just a couple
Right.
of streets
Yeah, a
away.
couple
So
streets away.
yes, on a
Yeah,
call
so
away. So
and we have
really,
and you've been so gracious to invite Shannon and I over for dinner, which is we're so excited about that. We're going to do that next month because we're still both trying to get a handle on the equipment. So today we finished putting up 2 auto pulls, which there's a video on my channel and it seems to be growing right now. Auto pulls are just normally used from floor to ceiling, but now if you put really light lights on it, and you'd already purchased some great video maker small LED panels, and we wanted to use 2 of those to put on the back wall, and then 2 of those to kind of provide some hair light for you. So both of us have those lights over our shoulder. Even though we didn't set it for this set, I can see light, you know, on you right now, so it looks pretty good. And then obviously the other part of the journey was you actually hired a private contractor to come in and put up the Infinity.
yes.
And then you
bookshelf,
have
yeah.
books on it. So some of these books represent some of the books that you've read.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is maybe a minuscule of the books I have read, but yes.
Yeah. So they're all different. You know, you can see they're different angles, and you guys will see the background wall when we show you B-roll. So we've gone from all white walls. There's only one wall painted, which is behind us, and obviously the rest of the room is still white. But we've tried to clean things up. So 2 auto pulls above our heads. And then she has a big wide, it's not an Elgato light. I forget the brand of it. I think it's Newell, but it's a big round Newell. It's got a real big soft filter on the front of it. It's not a soft box, but it's the light right now that's helping light us, including a couple lights are hitting us because we're closer to the back wall. And then in reality, we just tried to make things simple. Like you have an Elgato Stream Deck that can stop and start recording, turn your lights on and off. And then we're using an app. Just literally went to a local hardware store and bought their outlets. So all 4 of these lights come on by just using your phone app. You have the Elgato app on your phone.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to make things simple. And most of what you do in here is just turn things on. Yeah. Zoom you're really familiar with. And now we've set it up so that you could use your EOS RP with OBS and the software that you're using. What's this software called again?
This is called Swarm.
Swarm, which I've never heard of before, but you just started using it.
Yes.
So you can do real quick videos on that.
Yeah. So this is my community platform that I'm using.
Okay.
It's a third-party platform that I just signed up for.
Cool.
And bringing in my members, clients into this now, and we can easily record videos and audio responses and that. So
Awesome.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So trying to make it as simple as possible, and because you're doing training, you know, through Zoom and also doing videos, because you're going to have video training videos. I just wanted to say this before I forget. When you sent me your first video after we set everything up, and I said, just, you know, write a script and get in front of your prompter, I was really surprised. I showed it to Shannon right away and said, she did really good. So one last thing I just wanted to say. So what would you say to people out there that know that they should be doing something? They could turn a room in their house into a studio. They're part of maybe companies or corporations. They're already doing Zoom, but they're just putting a camera up in front of them with a white wall behind them. What would you say to them about the potential that they have to do what you've done here? Is there much difference, you think, between the people that are watching tonight that have never done it and?
Not at all. I mean, we're all like together in this and in this, you know, having the same journey. So yeah, I definitely think if you have even a little bit of inclination, desire to go, you know, record videos, do reels, or appear on podcasts, or even on Zoom, you know, don't limit yourself. Just go out and, you know, create a nice background, invest in a little bit of tech, and find Keith and you know, go for it. I'm so glad that this is the best investment. Like, I'm so glad, you know, we're coming towards the end of 2024. I really feel well set up to have a great year full of, you know, videos and things, and bring my vision to true, all because of getting help from Keith.
Yeah. If they wanted to get training from you, how do they find you?
LinkedIn would be the best bet right now, or the limitlessleaders.com.
Okay, so limitlessleaders.com or LinkedIn, they would just look for you.
Yes, Subramanian.
Yeah, and so spell your last name. So I'll put it on the screen.
But... Yeah, Subramanian.
Okay, there you go. So if you can't find her, reach out to me and I'll send you a link to her LinkedIn page so that you guys can find her. So thank you so much. We were working in here, right? We just got done doing the last light settings. And so I appreciate this. I wanted to have this up, at least part of this interview. It may not all be up for Christmas Eve, but I wanted portions of this up. But thank you so much, Uma, for inviting me in your house, letting me meet your family, and being able to help you with your studio. And so I look forward to your journey. I hope you guys will check out her pages and like and subscribe once you get other stuff going here on the world of social media out there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Keith.
I can't tell you how much I wanted to rub that lamp. So I grew up as a Aladdin fan, loved the Disney movie, the remake, and I just wanted to rub the lamp. See if Robin Williams would pop out in the form of a blue genie. So I hope you guys enjoyed that behind the scenes look at this journey that we've been on together, Uma and I. And again, you know, it's sad that you have all these neighbors around you, right? Houses I drive by all the time. A few people live in the neighborhood that I've known for years. And so obviously I have a relationship with them. Neighbors really close to us, you know, you get to know them. You meet them out when you're taking your garbage can out or you're getting your mail. And we have a community mailbox across the street and 2 houses down. So get a chance to meet people there, but to actually be in Uma's house and just take this journey together with her was absolutely incredible for me. And I just want to say thank you to her for allowing us to be there. Shannon hasn't had a chance to go over there yet, but we are going to have dinner. They've been so gracious to me. When I go over there, I get treats and I get snacks, and it is great. So thank you, Uma, if you're ever listening to this. I really appreciate you taking the time. So a little overview, 2 auto pulls, right? There's a video here on my channel. So you can see that I have 1 auto pull in my studio. Uma has 2. 2 of the Great Video Maker lights shine on her back wall. You see that beautiful new back wall. That's kind of her color scheme. I told her to put some trinkets up there that kind of that reveal you. She even had a Lego up on the, like a Lego horse up on the right, which was really cool. And so you can see some of those pictures when I first arrived. There was boxes everywhere, boxes in the hallway at the entry of their house. You could tell that she had purchased everything that she was told to purchase. She was 100% committed. And then we had to kind of sort through that. So I tried to use everything I can. I've listed a few things that she isn't going to use on Marketplace. She had a glide cam. She had a tripod. She had a nice Manfrotto ball head or adjustable ball head video head. She had a little Deity stereo microphone. Stereo goes out both sides, so you can use it as a stereo microphone or you can use it as mono. And then a bunch of little cords and wires. She has a Alexa device, which I haven't set up. That's not my jam. So I told her, I can set you up with some wireless outlets that you can turn off and on your phone. And I get those right here from the local hardware store, and they've worked really well for me. My fountain now turns on and off from that app, and I'm eventually going to go away from all of these switches and go to everything wireless. So in reality, Uma, if you're listening, you have 2 auto poles. I only have 1. You have lots of tech, and it's pretty exciting. Now, she is using a shotgun microphone, and she also has a Rode wireless kit, just the transmitter and the receiver. And we like the sound of her shotgun microphone. She's using the Rodecaster Pro Duo. Her EOS RP comes HDMI into a cam link, and I've shared many times, cam link is just an adapter. Try to keep this, because I talk about it all the time, just an adapter that goes HDMI to 3.0 USB, and so you can go from your camera, a nicer DSLR, or even a camcorder, whatever you have, into your computer. So we're just using OBS. I set up a stream deck for her, a little mini one, so that she can hit record. So it'll start recording. We're going to add some more buttons when we get down the road. We set her Rodecaster Pro up with the new firmware updates. It will track you with audio, and that works 99% of the time. I'm sure there's more bugs that they'll work out, but you just hit play, set it up to follow your voice. That's in the settings in the software. And then typically it will go as you talk. So if you stop, it stops. You continue talking, it goes. And I use a prompter in here mainly for Zoom. But again, it's a lot of fun. So that's Uma's studio. So put your thoughts in the chat tonight. That would be great. Let me pop this up. I thank you, Joe, for that comment. Yeah, I absolutely, I got to tell you guys, I absolutely love it. I limit my clients because I want to be 100% as often as I can. Now, 40 or so of the days that I was working with Uma in this final run, right? We'll work together, be a couple hours a month, but she was doing 6 or so hours with me, sometimes more, because we were doing installs. I was teaching her how to use things. But I wanted to be 100% present. And I went through like 44 days being sick, ended up having to go to walk-in clinic 3 weeks ago, get some antibiotics. So the challenge, I think, in general, when you're in business, is that when it's focused on lots of people, right? You don't do as good a job making sure that it's a good fit, it's a good match. And I so respected the guy I met. And we're going to try to spend some more time together this next year. He does some live audio events. He has a whole bunch of light trees, and I want to spend some time with him and learn more of the lighting side of things with his company. And he said I could, but I so respected the fact that he realized he was over his head, and really all he was asked to do is help build the studio. And it was going to take a lot more than that, because as Uma said, she's really okay with software, but she's a little intimidated by technology. So anyway, thoroughly enjoyed that. Glad you guys are here with me tonight in the live stream. If you haven't said hi yet in the chat, please say hi if you're on live with us. If for some reason you can't chat, like it's disabled, it's because we have subscribe only enabled. If you subscribe to the channel, within a minute you can chat with us. If you're not happy with the channel, you don't like what you hear here, feel free to unsubscribe after, but we would love to hear from you. I'd love to find out where you're from. Love to wish you as well a Merry Christmas. So if you're listening to me and you're not in the chat, Merry Christmas to you as well. If you already celebrated Christmas and you're watching this video later, you can kind of see how the Christmases are here if you join us each Tuesday for live streams. Now, there'll be a couple Tuesdays I won't be live in January. We're going to be on the road, and so keep that in mind, but we will have as much fun next year as we can possibly do that. Okay, so let's go to this interview with my wife, Shannon, and we're going to cut to that right now. I hope you guys enjoy this little conversation with my lovely wife. She's not coming in the studio live. She's entertaining family right now, and she's also expecting a phone call from a client, so my wife may be giving help to a baby birth tomorrow or tonight late in the middle of the night. We don't know. Hopefully this baby will wait until after Christmas. So because it seemed like that was going to happen, plus we had all the family coming into town, I said, let's go ahead, honey, before everybody gets here, and let's just pre-record our conversation. So enjoy this. This is Shannon paying us a little visit here in the studio. I'm here with my wife, Shannon, and you are a midwife, right?
Yes.
And you have a lady due.
I have a lady due any minute that is over 40 weeks.
So rather than having her live, I just decided to record this. It is Christmas Eve. Family is arriving. And thank you, Shannon, so much for taking this time out. So I have two questions for you, right? One has two parts. What is your favorite Christmas memory, and what is Christmas mean to you, or what does Christmas mean to you?
For me, Christmas is family and Jesus' birthday, and I love celebrating that. In fact, we have a birthday party for Jesus every year with the grandkids and hang a banner that says Happy Birthday, Jesus, and we have cupcakes and play games and have prizes and just have a birthday party. And I love that Christmas is about family, because we're all so busy during the year that we don't take the time to do all those things that we want to do with our family. But at Christmas, everything stops. It's like the world stops and people spend time together, quality time. And as far as a Christmas memory, I have kind of a funny Christmas memory that comes to mind. I was super excited about this Christmas gift when I was younger. It was soft and squishy, and it didn't rattle, and I love to rattle things and squish them and shake them and try and figure out what's inside. That's half the fun to me. So I had figured out that this was a stuffed animal that I'd really, really wanted. So that was the first thing I opened on Christmas morning. But when I opened this package, it was ugly, bright-colored, fuzzy, long socks, and I was not happy. I don't think I ever wore those socks.
So do you still have those socks?
No.
They are AOL.
They are history.
So you, as a midwife, what do you think about technology?
I hate technology because I don't like learning how to use new things. My students badger me all the time about getting up with the current century, and if I had my way, I'd have a pencil and a ledger paper to keep my books. But no, I do QuickBooks, and I have
I see an Apple Watch.
Yes. So, okay, if there's any one thing that I love, 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 I don't even love my phone this much because I'm tethered to my phone. This has given me some freedom because for years, my daughter, my bookkeeper, everybody tried to convince me to get an Apple Watch because I lose my phone constantly. And I'm always asking somebody to call it so I can find it.
And so how do you find it now?
All I have to do is push this little button and push the button and it finds my phone for me. In fact, one time at a birth, I lost my phone somewhere, and I mean, I had been everywhere. And I was able to find my phone with my watch. Otherwise, I think it would have never shown up. But so this is my favorite piece of electronics. The other stuff I could live without. I have to use it. I've got electronic fetal monitors and ultrasounds and desktops, laptops, iPads, all the stuff. That's a necessity. But this one I would keep.
So how much do you like my studio?
I can't stand his studio.
That's the third question, but it's about technology.
I walk in here and I'm instantly overwhelmed and feel suffocated because there are buttons and lights and monitors and everything everywhere. And he wants to show me all the stuff, and it's going voom right over my head. The
cool thing is she's sure getting up to speed with technology because we have a cruise planned this next year. And she's already gone. She already has the app installed on her phone. She's gone to every page of the app.
I've got entertainment booked. I've got, excursions booked. So that technology is good.
Awesome. Well, so we wanted to toast. So what are you drinking there?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. So I'm going to take a sip. Make sure it's just right.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Love you.
I love you too. Merry Christmas, guys. Back to the studio. Thanks, Shannon. there you have it. Shannon Bennett in the studio. She doesn't even like my studio. So now, again, let's be fair, right? We were doing her podcast. I was setting up lights. We were doing it in the dining room. She was saying, it's taking you way too much time, honey. This was a nice man cave. We could hang out here, play Xbox, watch movies, watch TV, chill out, close the door when 15 grandchildren and their friends are here, which is my wife's happy place, just surrounded with as much family as she possibly can. I'm more into like one at a time. I'm more wired that way. I can't shut conversations out. So her family that she grew up around was like family everywhere. Her mom had, I think, 14 brothers and sisters, crazy. And so Shannon grew up around cousins, and she has a brother and a sister, and they would have family reunions, and they talked about everything at the dinner table. My German influence, Texan family didn't talk that much. You know, we got to business and ate dinner. Germans don't talk as much as Texans do, but when it's time to eat and the meat is on the grill, or on your plate from the grill, it's time to shut your mouth and fill your belly. So interesting meld of cultures, but you know, the studio was because she wanted me to be able to just come in here, aim a camera, and go. So it took me about, I was all lit up in the studio. I worked this morning because I had to catch up. It's Tuesday. Usually takes me Monday, Tuesday, just to get some of the basic work done around here, plus live stream. So in reality, I was in the studio. All I had to do is re-aim a camera, and my new EOS R that I purchased used. It's not timing out anymore. I'll let you guys see this camera real quick. So it's not timing out anymore. I just had to change some settings inside of it where it automatically closes down, and everything was set to automatically close down to save battery life, which I'm glad it has that feature. But if you're going to use it with a dummy battery that doesn't ever run dry unless the power goes off, there's no reason to have those settings. So I built this studio in reaction to Shannon's request to make it easier. We talked about it. We planned it out. I sold 2 of the leather chairs, kept one in our bedroom, bought these chairs for a 3-person set. You saw Shannon and I sitting in that set. I have to put the camera all the way down flat on my desk, which you can do that with the Manfrotto friction arms, get it almost all the way down on the desk, and then it's up when I'm live. So everything works in here really well. Just turn on the lights, turn on the ATEM, make sure I have my Rodecaster Pro recording audio at the same time that I have my ATEM recording. Most of the videos you see, I replaced the audio. So I use the ATEM audio to line it up. So again, Shannon's responsible for the studio being here, but she doesn't like to come in the studio. So anyway, thank you so much, Shannon. And thank you so much, Uma, for being here. I wanted to share this. This is Uma's LinkedIn page. And so that's where she's very active. You can see her interacting with different clients and stuff there. So if you'd like to know more about Uma, you can just go over to her LinkedIn page. And again, there's some links in the description. Also, that first video she produced, the link to that on YouTube is in the description below. So check that out. She did a great job. There was a bunch of takes. I looked inside her OBS where all the files are, but she put all that video together herself and she uploaded it herself. I was quite shocked because she told me she was going to farm out all the video editing. She asked me if I do that kind of work, and I go, no, that's my least favorite thing to do is edit video, even though I've done thousands of hours of video editing over the years. So check her out. And again, I hope you guys will say some nice things to LinkedIn and thank her as well. You can even thank her in the chat tonight because she'll eventually watch this video, she told me. So, okay, so let's just catch up here. We got 2 more things to do before we go out tonight. And I don't want to get behind. So Joe said every day is Christmas at Life Journey Productions. Yeah, well, thank you. Is there a midwife extra fee for Christmas births? And no, there's not. I mean, it makes total sense because leaving your family, doing a birth on Christmas, but there's just a fee that all these women pay. And Shannon has a progress for that. When she first started out, she wasn't licensed with the state. You can still practice, but you can't charge for a birth. You can't charge for pre or post natal visits. Is what, you know, our wives do when they're pregnant. They go to the doctor. If we go with them, there's pre, before birth, and obviously post. And so now Shannon is a full licensed midwife and has been for a lot of years, I think over 10, 11 years now. She can charge for the birth, so there's just a fee. If they want to go with a home birth midwife, they have to meet some criteria to be safe to do that at home. My wife transports them if there's any trouble. She never takes births too far out of the area away from a hospital because that's just not safe for mama. Some of those people that really want her will come into town 2 or 3 weeks before the birth and stay with family because you never know when the baby is going to come. But Shannon has had to go out for 2 Thanksgivings. And I'm never super happy because Thanksgiving and Christmas are so important to our family. So the fact that Shannon would be gone both times, my daughter and I and my second oldest son, we did most of the work until my other daughter-in-laws and stuff and kids came to get Thanksgiving dinner together. And my wife actually the second time was able to show up in the early afternoon and have Thanksgiving dinner with us, which was amazing. So we only missed her one time on the whole day of Thanksgiving, but a baby was born, and that baby has a birthday every single Thanksgiving. And if a baby's born on Christmas, they will have a Christmas birthday. Good to see you, DJ Ware. Thanks for coming tonight. I can stand your studio. Thank you, Joe. It's remotes and switches. Yeah, I have had those for a long time. You know that I used to use A/B switches to add more cameras to my ATEM. Now I have 2 ATEM Extremes, and I only have one of those switches, and that's to change my hybrid. Actually, take that back. I have 2 of those switches. One is to add my ATEM streaming bridge into a live if I need it, because I rarely use it. So it's almost always set to 1, and occasionally I'll switch it over to 2 and bring in my streaming bridge and remote cast from somewhere in the house. I was going to remote cast tonight from the living room, but it was full of people. So everybody was going to stay. They were having kind of an afternoon Christmas. Some of the families from out of town. And so I said my goodbyes, came in here to do live, and a lot of them were leaving during the hour that we've been together. So, okay. Hank says, finally got to meet Shannon, delightful lady. Yeah, Shannon actually, I think, was in a live stream. The still image today had that picture of Shannon and I the last time we did a appearance. So we were together with Zoe in the living room, and I think I pre-recorded that. I may have done that shot on my streaming bridge. I can't remember if that was last year or the year before, so you can go back and check out those videos. But yeah, Shannon is amazing. We've been married for 42 and a half years, and I'm absolutely, completely, totally blessed to have her in my life. So talking about Christmas, see if I can find this video somewhere. There it is. We did a Lego build, the Death Star. Let me grab it. The Death Star trash compactor, and this can slide in and slide out. There was videos in the intro reel, video in the outro reel, so you can watch it. But we built this, and I have a short time lapse I want to show you guys. So we are going to roll that right now. Well, look who's here. Hey, everyone. Hey, Joe, how are you? Yeah, I told him, Joe, you're here. So Ratso says hi and hi to everybody else. So Ratso, what is the deal? You've been talking about interviewing me today, and usually I do the interviewing and you show up and you ask me crazy questions and you go off script, but you wanted to talk with me today. What did you want to talk about? Yeah, I wanted to get to know you better. Why in the world would you want to get to know me better? That makes me a little nervous. I have something in mind. Well, that makes me even more nervous. So it concerns me quite a bit. Well, I have my reasons. Well, oh, your hat just fell off. So Santa, you got to get that on better. So I pinned that on and it still fell off. Well, I'm sorry it fell off, but things like that happen when you're live. So it looks like it's going to fall all the way off. So what kind of questions did you have for me? Well, how long have you been throwing your voice? What do you mean throwing my voice? Then a ventriloquist. Oh, well, I've been a ventriloquist since I was about, I would say 12 years old. Hey, have you ever thrown your voice and it never came back? Have I ever thrown my voice and it not come back? No, my voice is like a boomerang when I throw it and it comes right back every time. Have you ever hit anybody by accident? Yeah, I did. In fact, not really by accident. I threw my voice when I was in middle school to see if I could get someone else in trouble. You did? Yeah, I could make the teacher think it was coming from someone in the other side of the room that she was already in, thinking he was going to do something wrong. That's horrible. Yeah, I felt bad. But, when you're a ventriloquist, you might as well have fun with it. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, I have another question. Okay, what's the question? What did you get me for Christmas? What did I get you for Christmas? I'm going to tell you tomorrow. Oh, that sucks. Oh, it's okay. So it's not really that bad. You can wait till tomorrow. Okay, I'll wait till tomorrow. So, I was talking to a couple people about you the other day, and I was telling you how good your smell is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can smell the packages. Yeah, I know you can smell the packages. So did any one of those packages smell a little like Zoe treats in the backyard? Zoe treats? We'll talk about it later. Anyway, so yeah, I know you have a good nose, and I know what you always wish is number one for Christmas. And so we do some special wrapping with all your presents. So anyway, so fire away. Any other questions that you have for me, Ratso? Have you ever got in trouble? Yeah, I get in trouble all the time. I mean, I think actually Shannon got irritated with me when we did that interview today. She did. Yeah, she did, because I had messed with my Rodecaster Pro and had reverb on and echo. So when I got done with the first interview, echo. Yeah, when you say something and your voice continues to echo. Oh. Yeah, like that. That's cool. Yeah, so anyway, so I got in trouble with Shannon. She was a little irritated, but we had to do it all over again. So we did the interview twice. 2 times? Yeah. So anyway, Ratso, what kind of other questions do you have for me tonight? Well, I just wanted to know why you do live streams. I do live streams because I have this studio and I do consulting, and I just like to share about all this tech. Okay, so when are you going to build me a studio? Build you a studio? Yeah, I want to go live. Seriously? What would you do live? Invite all my friends. You mean like your family? Yeah. Well, the last time we counted, you were estimating 95 immediate family members. Yeah, close to that. So you would try to bring all those guys on your live stream? Yeah, that's crazy. How many cameras you would need? About 70. 70 cameras? Yeah, my family's very vocal. How do you like that, Joe? Anyways, your family's really, really vocal. Yeah. Hey, by the way, yeah. Yeah, what? I was sniffing around the tree. Yeah, you were sniffing around the tree? Yeah, you need to take one of those packages outside. Oh, there's a package under the tree that you think needs to get taken outside? Yeah, it smells like... Don't say it. Why not? You can't say that live. You shouldn't say that at all. Well, it smells like... Ratso, what are you doing there? I don't want you to say that word on live, so don't say it. It begins with it rhymes with snake. No, it doesn't rhyme with snake. It starts with the same letter. Oh, You already knew what I was going to say. Yeah. So anyway, so that's how we, well, let's just say you won't know what your present is until tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, thanks for the interview and let me know when you get the studio started. Okay. Well, I'm not making any promises about the Harley or the studio. I know there's nothing under the tree that could fit a Harley. Yeah, no, the tree would not fit a Harley. The Harley would have to be parked outside. It's outside. I'm going to go see. Ratso, we're not. Ratso. Oh, I got to go. That stretches my voice. I hope you guys enjoyed that routine. I saw a super chat from Joe, $4.99. How can you beat that? For some reason, it does not display, Joe. I'm so sorry, but that's it right there. And it says, Merry Christmas, Ratso. So we will add that to the Ratso Christmas Fund. And I wanted Ratso to make an appearance tonight. We've got to go. I've got family everywhere. And so I hope you maybe will build a Lego with one of your grandkids. I built that Lego with my my grandson, Logan, and didn't really put anything but his hands in the videos tonight because he's a child and didn't want to get flagged. Also, lots of little comments here from Joe. Loves Ratso. Yeah, I actually have an invitation, it looks like, to go and do a performance in a local elementary school in Benton City. I have a friend that's a teacher there, and they are doing assemblies where they bring all the students in and they talk about things like empathy and sympathy. So really helping kids understand how you interact with other people at that young elementary age. And so we're brainstorming about the possibility of Ratso helping them learn of those things. Now, again, a rat is a perfect symbol of the average young guy that gets in trouble and has frogs in his pockets like I did. My son Nathan was just saying out in the living room, kitchen area this afternoon that he said, I think I was in more trouble at school than any of my family members. And I said to him, yeah, you probably were. And we were talking about some of the stories. And so again, I hope you do something like a Lego build with your family. Maybe you'll sit down and interview them. It was precious to interview Uma. It was precious to have Shannon in the studio because that's so rare for her to appear on a live stream. So I know we're 10 minutes over, so I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. I better, because nothing's automated tonight, I better get my outro video ready here. I have no clue. Let's do it this way. Get control of my studio again here, guys. Yeah, I didn't have time to fix my macros. Anytime I add more videos to my live stream, one of the downsides of that is some of my macros won't work and play what I need them to play. And so let's get the outro ready and get ready to roll it and say goodnight. So have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will most likely be live on New Year's Eve, so I hope you'll join me. Thank you guys so much. Joe, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And again, I apologize that doesn't display. And I hope that you guys will enjoy this holiday, like the video, so the algorithm helps it get out there, and be looking in the next week for part 2 of my Extreme ISO Getting Started series. That's part 1's already out here on my channel, and the next video will be out pretty soon. Plus the interview with Emma will be uploaded to my YouTube channel if you just like to go back and watch it in full screen, fully rendered. That would be great. So thank you guys, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Keith and Shannon Bennett here at Life Journey Production Studios. Until next time, rejoice.
see snow begin to fall. I wish that it could be a merry little Christmas for one and all. And when I hear choirs on the street, so full of Christmas cheer, I pray this is the start of all our dreams. So if Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring joy and peace on earth? If Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring love enough for the world? Bells, they will be ringing, every heart just singing. So if Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring joy and peace on earth? If Santa, you're listening, please, can you bring love enough for the world? Then bells, they will be ringing, and every heart just singing.
Good night, all. Merry Christmas.